Hey guys, today on Guitar Basics we're going to learn about capos. We're going to learn how to use capos, what capos do, and we're going to teach you a little bit about what the scale of a guitar is and how that changes when we use a capo. Okay, now let's go into how we use the capo. Okay, so up here on the guitar, this white piece here, where your strings kind of step into before they go onto your tuning machines, this is called the nut of the guitar. Now the other end, which I'm going to actually zoom out so I can explain this to you a little bit more clear, is called the saddle or the bridge. Now what this does is this is your root. So any string that's not being touched, that's called a big root. Root chord, or root note I should say, an open chord or an open string. There's your E and your A and so on. Now what happens when we use a capo, what we want to do is we want to put your capo onto any fret you need. We want to make sure the capo is nice and straight so that the tension is the same along all of our strings. And what this capo does is it takes the position of the nut and it moves it down. So right now the capo is on position fret number 1, which means your original open E string is now an E sharp, or an F I should say. An E sharp and an F are the exact same chord because they both land on the first fret on the E string. So by taking the nut and moving it down, see, we could also move this down to the 3rd fret. Now this would be placing the capo onto the 3rd fret, which would give us an open G note on our big E string. And what this does is it will make it sound a little different. So if we played a G chord and then we decided we wanted to move it up here or move it up here, or completely take the capo off. Now what this does for some singers or some writers is, depending on their vocals, they will move a capo up and down, which moves the position of the nut so that they can sing easier to it. A high singer may need to play higher chords. So what they'll do is they'll change the position of the nut to the 3rd or the 2nd or even the 5th, or even some of them move it down to the 7th fret, and they'll play their chords from there. Now I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to describe to you the reason behind this. Alright, so the distance between the nut and the bridge, or the saddle, on regular guitars, and on this guitar as well, is 25.5 inches. Now as we use our capo and we put it down on the 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th, or etc., what we do is we shorten that scale. Now when we shorten that scale, our open note or open strings now become higher. As if we put it on the 1st fret, our open string for our big E will now become an F. If we put it on the 3rd fret, our open E will now become a G, etc. If we put it on the 5th fret, our open E, our E string will be an open A note. Now as a singer or a player, as you put your capo on different frets, it gives your open chord or your open strings different notes. Now as you have different notes, your chords will sound higher, they'll sound a little different, and from a singer's perspective this might make it easier for you to sing songs. Now a lot of professional songs are actually done with capos on them because either the musician preferred it that way or it was easier for him to sing in the key that he wanted to sing in for that song. Now I'll just do a small demonstration of the difference between using a capo and not using a capo. So I'll just play a few chords. I'll play a G, a C, and a D with no capo on, and it will sound like this. Now if we use a capo, say move up to our 3rd fret, those same chords will now sound like this. Much higher. Maybe it would be a little bit better for a higher singer. Now if you're a really high singer, you could move it up to, say, the 5th fret. Now, using those same chords, as you can see, all these types of chords on different frets with a capo will sound a little different, and it really lets your imagination go wild when you're trying to write songs and get new ideas. And that's how a lot of musicians actually do it. If they can't happen to write something in regular standard scale, they'll put a capo on and see if they get any ideas. Okay guys, that's capos. Thanks for watching and good luck.